Have you ever had one of those moments where you suddenly stop and think, wait, is this really my life? Not in a dramatic way, not during some big crisis, just a quiet moment. Maybe you're scrolling on your phone. Maybe you're sitting in a room full of people. Or maybe you're lying in bed at night staring at the ceiling, and a strange feeling hits you. You're doing everything you're supposed to do, but something feels off, like you're present, but not really living. And the scary part is, most people ignore that feeling. They scroll again. They distract themselves. They go back to routine. But what if that feeling is actually trying to tell you something important? What if the real question isn't, are you successful or are you happy, but something much deeper? Are you actually living your life or just going through it? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people don't live their lives. They live patterns. Think about it. You wake up, check your phone, rush through your morning, do what needs to be done, scroll, eat, repeat, sleep, and then do it all over again, day after day. And from the outside, it looks normal, productive. But inside, it can feel empty, like you're watching your own life instead of experiencing it. And this doesn't happen because people are lazy. It doesn't happen because people don't care. It happens because of how the human mind is designed. Your brain loves efficiency. It wants to save energy. So instead of making conscious decisions all day, it builds habits, routines, automatic patterns. At first, this is helpful. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about tying your shoes. You don't have to think about your daily routine. But over time, something strange happens. Those automatic patterns don't just control small things. They start controlling your entire life, your reactions, your thoughts, your choices, even your dreams. You stop asking, what do I actually want? And you start asking, what should I do next? And without realizing it, you slowly drift into a life that feels predictable, safe, but also disconnected. This is what psychologists sometimes call living on autopilot. It's when your actions are guided more by habit than awareness. And here's the dangerous part. Autopilot feels comfortable. It doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel broken. In fact, it often feels easier than being fully aware, because awareness requires effort. It requires you to stop and question, reflect, and most people avoid that, because questioning your life can be uncomfortable. It can lead to thoughts like, why am I doing this job? Do I actually enjoy this? Is this the life I wanted, or the life I ended up with? And those questions don't have easy answers. So, instead, the mind distracts itself with entertainment, with busyness, with constant noise. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort. But here's where it gets even deeper. You're not just living on autopilot. Because of habits, you're also living based on invisible scripts. These are the beliefs and expectations you've picked up from society, family, and culture. Things like, you need to be successful. You need to make money. You need to follow a certain path. You need to keep up with others. And slowly, without realizing it, you start measuring your life based on these scripts. Not based on what feels meaningful to you, but based on what looks right from the outside. And the scary thing is, you can spend years, even decades, following a script that was never truly yours. You can achieve things, earn money, build a life that looks perfect, and still feel like something is missing because deep down, you're not living from your own awareness. You're living from borrowed expectations. Let's make this simple. Imagine your life is like a movie. Now ask yourself, are you the main character, or are you just following a script someone else wrote? Because many people are not directing their lives. They're just acting out roles. The responsible one, the successful one, the people pleaser, the strong one. And once you attach to a role, you stop questioning it. You just play it. even if it doesn't feel right anymore. This is why some people feel lost, even when everything seems fine, because they've been living a role, not a real, conscious life. And here's something even more powerful. Your mind doesn't just follow patterns. It avoids presence. Being fully present, truly aware of your life, is actually rare, because presence forces you to feel everything, not just the good parts, but also the boredom, the anxiety, the uncertainty, the emptiness. So what does the mind do? It escapes into the past, thinking about what happened, what went wrong, what could have been different, or into the future, worrying, planning, imagining, but rarely. Does it stay in the present moment? And when you're not present, you're not really living. You're just thinking about life instead of experiencing it. That's why time feels so strange. Have you noticed how weeks can pass and you barely remember them? How days blur together? That's not because time is moving faster. It's because you're less aware. When you're fully present, time feels rich, detailed, alive. When you're on autopilot, time disappears. So, in a way, if you're not present, you're not just missing moments, you're missing your life. Now here's where everything starts to connect. The reason you feel disconnected sometimes, the reason life feels repetitive, the reason you question your direction is not because something is wrong with you. It's because a part of you is waking up. A part of you is starting to notice. This isn't fully me. And that awareness, even though it feels uncomfortable, is actually powerful. Because the moment you start questioning your life, you step out of autopilot, even for a second. And that second matters, because awareness is the first step to change. But here's the challenge. Awareness alone is not enough. You can realize you're not fully living and still go back to the same patterns. Because patterns are comfortable. They don't require effort. Living consciously does. It means slowing down, paying attention, making choices instead of reacting automatically. And that's hard, but it's also where real life begins. Let's bring this into something practical. Ask yourself this simple question. When was the last time I felt truly alive? Not distracted, not entertained, not busy, but alive. Maybe it was during a deep conversation. Maybe it was while doing something you love. Maybe it was during a quiet moment where everything just felt real. Those moments have something in common. You were present. You weren't thinking about 10 different things. You weren't trying to escape. You were just there. And that's what real living feels like. Not constant excitement, not perfection, but presence. Now here's the deeper insight. Living your life is not about changing everything overnight. It's not about quitting your job or making dramatic decisions. It's about waking up within your current life. It's about noticing your patterns, not judging them, not forcing change, but simply becoming aware. Because the more aware you are, the less control those patterns have over you. For example, next time you pick up your phone without thinking, pause for a second. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Not to stop yourself, just to notice. That small moment of awareness breaks the automatic loop. Or when you feel yourself reacting emotionally, pause. Notice the reaction. You don't have to change it immediately. Just seeing it clearly changes your relationship with it. This is how you slowly move from autopilot to conscious living, not through big changes, but through small moments of awareness. And over time, something shifts. You start making choices instead of just reacting. You start questioning things that once felt automatic. You start creating your life instead of just following it. And Here's something important to understand. Living your life doesn't mean being happy all the time. That's another illusion. Real life includes discomfort, uncertainty, even pain. But when you're living consciously, those experiences feel meaningful because you're present for them. You're not running away. You're not numbing yourself. You're actually experiencing life fully. And that's what makes it real. Now think about this. At the end of your life, what would matter more? That you followed the expected path, or that you actually felt your life, that you did everything right, or that you lived consciously, even imperfectly? Because time will pass either way. The only question is, will you be there for it, or will it pass you by while you're distracted, following patterns, living someone else's script? So maybe the real goal isn't to chase success, or happiness, or perfection. Maybe the real goal is much simpler. To wake up, to notice, to be present, to actually experience your life as it's happening. Because right now, in this moment, you're alive. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. And the more you become aware of that, the more life starts to feel real again. So next time that quiet question appears in your mind, Am I really living my life? Don't ignore it. Don't distract yourself. Sit with it, because that question might be the beginning of you finally waking up.